Another week in the books. Reminder that all content warnings are with the longer write-up on my website. You do want to check them this week. There are a lot. First up this week, I finished off the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Thank you to my local library for hooking me up with this one. In this one, the world is ending, and this time it's for the last time. Civilization has collapsed again and again and again in this world, and this time someone has made it happen on purpose. They've split open the very earth and it is spewing ash that is filling up the whole atmosphere. We have 3 different POVs with a phenomenal twist about how they are all connected, and it's really easy to see why this author has made such a name for herself with her incredible world building and her magic systems. I have never seen anything like it before. I was so in awe with this one. I do love dystopian fiction and I do love post-apocalyptic fiction, but I find so often it is missing a lot of the messiness of humanity, and this did not. Anything that looks simple on its surface, that is a facade, because they are trying to hide something a lot more complicated and or ugly. The complexities of the characters, of the systems that they live in, of the world is unparalleled. Like they're the authors that come to mind with that level of world building are names like Tolkien. One of my favorites, as you know if you've been following for a while. I am just in awe of this. I totally get the hype. I am so eager for the second one. When I reached the last 50 pages, I was thinking all of these ends were getting so neatly tied up, and then at the very end, I was desperate to know what is coming more. That's all I'll say about that. There is a twist that lets you know there's a lot more story to come, and I am so excited for books 2 and 3 of this trilogy. Next up, I read through Demon Bound and Hell Sent by Nina K. Westra. These are books 1 and 1.5 of the Demons of Ardani series. In book 1, Demon Bound, Rhea has long since lost hope of escaping her abusive husband, the Lord of Frosthaven. That is, until he does something incredibly foolish. He summons a demon before he's figured out how to bind it. Rhea takes this opportunity to make a deal with this demon. If he'll help her escape, she'll help him do the same, and they can both get their freedom that way. The only thing is, this demon is going to need to feed to keep his magic up and therefore protect her. Demons feed off of emotional energy, and the strongest ones that they can get are from humans in either the form of fear or lust, and she's going to need to help him stay nourished somehow. Hell Sent is then a retelling of the same story through the eyes of the demon Azra. As you can probably tell from the summary, this is not a safe for work kind of book. There's a lot of violence in it, there's a lot of sex in it. This was a really fun romp. It's a fantastic revenge story. It's got a villain that is really easy to hate, and some of the other smaller villains around him were a little cartoonish, but actually in a way that made sense for the world that they were living in, because this is not a happy world. There is a lot of marginalization happening. There's classism, there's ableism, there's sexism. Almost every character that you are encountering is marginalized in some way. It absolutely makes sense why some of these characters would want to burn everything down. I really liked all the found family elements in that. It is one of my favorite tropes. I really loved all the companionship that was building. It had some great banter. It had some phenomenal world building. For example, the animals that inhabited this world were really innovative and fascinating. The same was also true for the factions and the individuals within them. There was a phenomenal chemistry and spice between the 2 characters, and what I loved most about it was the element of healing from trauma. It was actually a very realistic progression and not linear. The one thing that I would say is, in a book where we have 2 characters that are actually healing with trauma, including that of a sexual variety, is that I would have liked to see more verbalization of consent. This is not the first book that I've read that has used some kind of emotional telepathy to kind of bypass the vocalization, but personally for me, that's a bit of an it. Aside from that, I was fully on board with this one. I would enjoy reading the rest of a series if there are more books to come. I haven't heard anything yet, but we will see. In fact, Hell Sent just came out on the 18th, so very recently. So I've got a few advanced reader copies on deck, so you will probably be getting a dose of those next week. As always, there is a longer write-up of all of this available on my website at writing.hallidaynelson.com, and I want to know what you're reading too. It doesn't matter how big my TBR pile gets, I'm going to let it keep growing, so I want to know what you're having fun with so that I can add it. Happy reading.